Karl, is there ice in that cup?
Yes, there is.
Right, just be careful you don't hold it too close to the mic, because last time it made loads of rattling sounds.
Oh, did it? I'll avoid that then. In our continuing series discussing people from history who were born without the gland that produces givable fucks, today is the turn of Katharine Hepburn, a lady who spent the better part of 5 decades telling the world, but mostly men, that she didn't give a fuck in a rocking set of beige trousers.
Are we going to sum up Katharine Hepburn then?
Yeah, she was an actress from the early days of cinema. If you want to know more about her, look her up on Wikipedia, because we're not here to talk about any of her work or her career. We're instead here to talk about how she proved how few fucks she gave through her words and actions.
I'll be as prim as I can be and not get into any scrapes, if I can help it.
So go on, let's kick off with this.
Okay, sure.
Start off with a way that Katharine Hepburn clearly didn't give a fuck.
Well, the first way that springs to mind is that she absolutely hated giving interviews or appearing in photographs. She made it her life's mission to forever ruin the photographs of paparazzi by doing stupid things, or basically flubbing interviews by giving really stupid, inane, pointless answers, so the footage or stuff they recorded couldn't be used.
I can see you're going to tread too far just in 1 minute, so you better watch
You're reading my mind, huh?
I'm reading your mind.
Is there a specific example of this?
My favourite one, personally, is the time she caught a paparazzi trying to, steal a photo of her, and she wasn't happy about this. So what Katharine Hepburn did is went up to that paparazzi, took his camera and spiked it into the pavement at Mach 3.
She threw it on the ground.
Basically, yeah, she threw it on the ground, a la The Lonely Island.
That doesn't seem particularly noteworthy. I've heard a lot of stories of celebrities doing exactly that.
Yes, today, not 70 years ago, which is when Katharine Hepburn was doing it. And you have to remember as well, the public image that Hepburn had, initially at least, was actually the same one she had in her films, this dainty, ladylike person, and that's just not who Katharine Hepburn was. So imagine the look of surprise on a member of the paparazzi's face when Katharine Hepburn's there to go, oh wow, there's Katharine Hepburn, I'm going to get a photo of her for the newspaper. Give us a smile, Katharine. And she walks up, grabs the camera, and just spikes it into the pavement. And she was noted even in her 70s. If you try to take a photo of her when she was on stage, in plays and stuff, she'd stop the performance and have you escorted from the building.
Imagine if this happened in the day of smartphones, because there's usually 300 people trying to take pictures of anybody nowadays.
Oh man, can you imagine? If Katharine Hepburn existed today, she would be doing some sick-ass Naruto level shit. She spots all the cameras, it zooms in, you see a glint in her eye, and she goes, fuck this, I'm opening all 8 gates, and just assumes hyper form, and just goes around at Super Saiyan speed, knocking those cameras to the ground.
Can we have another example of Katharine Hepburn giving no fucks?
Well, there's a great example in regards to her acting, where it's noted that Katharine Hepburn always insisted upon doing all of her own stunts. You think she was a starlet in early silent cinema. Did she really need to do stunts? She did some pretty intense stunts, considering the age of the film she starred in, and the fact she was seen as this dainty waif-like woman. And do you know the reason that she insisted on doing all of her own stunts? Because she hated the fact that all the stunt people who stood in for her didn't stand up straight. So there's a good example, I think it's in one where she was supposed to be on a horse, and the horse is doing quite a dangerous manoeuvre. They brought in a stunt person, and Katharine Hepburn watched the dailies back and went, nah, I hate this. She's not sat up straight, no one's going to believe it's me. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. Thinking about all this just makes me upset that Hepburn didn't live for a couple more decades or was born a few decades later, because I think with her insistence upon doing all of her own stunts, she would have been perfect for the Fast and Furious movies. I would have loved to just watch a Fast and Furious movie with an elderly Katharine Hepburn in the same kind of role as Helen Mirren took in the 8th one, just going, yeah, I'll be in this and I'll do all my own stunts. Miss Hepburn, we can get a stunt actor in. You don't need to power slide around this corner like a motherfucker. And they say that as she's putting the helmet on and climbing into her customised Nissan Skyline going, what?
Do you reckon Vin Diesel hurt his leg, and there'd be a bit where someone needs to climb onto the bonnet of the car and jump across to another one, and she's like, I'll do that bit.
Yeah, don't
worry.
worry.
Just rewrite the scene, it'll be fine.
Don't worry, guys, I'll pull this one off. Go on, Vin, you go sit down, and then Vin Diesel gets mad salty that she's taking, heat off of him.
And at the end, she winks at The Rock.
And then Vin Diesel calls up Paramount Pictures and says, cut that shit out, I don't want a sequel. As an aside, for anyone who's currently in disbelief that Katharine Hepburn insisted upon doing all of her own stunts, I'd like to counter that with this picture of Katharine Hepburn riding a skateboard like a boss at age 50.
So at the start, you made some comment of trousers.
Yes, Katharine Hepburn really did prove how few fucks she gave by wearing a pair of kick-ass trousers.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a big deal today, does it? But you have to remember, like, this was 70 years ago, and Katharine Hepburn had an image to maintain as, being all ladylike, which her studio had spent millions of dollars crafting carefully for the public. And it didn't really help sell that when she was pictured walking around in a pair of just like beige slacks. So what the studios did is they pressured Katharine Hepburn, like, stop wearing these trousers, it doesn't look good. And Katharine Hepburn countered by saying, I think it looks great, and buying a suit so sharp it'd give a diamond marlin paper cuts on its fucking eyes, as I think we can all agree.
Was it really that big of a deal that she wore a pair of trousers, though?
It was a huge deal, and a lot of people, now what am I saying? A lot of men complained about it, and Katharine Hepburn is considered like, a trailblazer of feminism today because she wore a pair of trousers, looked good in them, and refused to take them off when, the man literally told her to take them off.
All I'm trying to say is that there are lots of things that a man can do, and in society's eyes, it's all hunky-dory. A woman does the same thing, the same, mind you, and she's an outcast.
There's a story about an MGM executive who got so pissed off that Katharine Hepburn is just swanning around wearing these trousers that he paid one of his underlings, go into Hepburn's trailer, steal those fucking trousers and replace them with a dress. You know what Katharine Hepburn did when she went into her trailer and saw that her prized pantaloons had been pilfered?
What did she do?
She walked out of her trailer in her underwear and walked around the set saying, where are my trousers? And everyone felt super awkward, and they I don't know, Katharine, I don't know, refusing to make eye contact with her until eventually the trousers were returned, at which point she put them on and went back to her fucking trailer. And no one ever tried to steal them ever again. Because Katharine Hepburn just had that level of power, and we all know she could. We all know that if she really wanted to, she could just walk outside, put her hands up, and the spirit bomb would start forming. And everyone's like, oh God, no, quick.
Get the trousers quick.
Quick, give her back.
Just give her your trousers.
You just see it. You
You're just throwing trouser offerings at her.
It's like, please, no, don't do it. And she gets the spirit bomb, and she just goes, duh, and crushes it. Because next time, I will not throw this shit. Do not mess with my fucking trousers.
Did you ever hear about the straw that broke the camel's back? The last straw on a female camel.
So go on, give us another example.
What, how few fucks Katharine Hepburn gave? Of course, I'd be happy to oblige. How about the fact she pretty much refused to wear makeup unless she was actively making a movie at the time? Much to the annoyance of, again, the same executives who told her to wear a dress. And it's noted that she will be stopped in the street by people. Be stopped in the street by men criticising her for not wearing makeup or a dress. And do you know what Katharine Hepburn's stock response to this was?
What was that?
If you like dresses and makeup so much, why don't you wear them your goddamn self? It's worth keeping in mind that women get criticised for this stuff today, and Katharine Hepburn was doing it in an era when basically she was treated like a second-class citizen. She absolutely refused to deal with anyone's bullshit when it came to them telling her how to dress or how to carry herself. And that's fucking awesome. And I love the idea that when these really whiny baby men would come up to her and say, I think you should put some makeup on and you look way better, she just went, fuck off. Even old age was unable to temper Hepburn's fiery personality, and it's noted that even in her fucking 70s, she would still actively go out of her way to call out anyone who acted like an asshole in front of her.
There's obviously an example of this.
Of course there is, Brad. One of the most famous examples is when she was doing a play when she was about 70 years old. And during the play, she noticed a guy in the front row just put his feet up on the stage. It's you don't do that.
Yeah.
Just full stop. But you especially don't do it in front of Katharine fucking Hepburn. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, she brought the house lights on him to doubly shame him to take his feet down and told him, do not do that shit again. Watch the play and enjoy it, and then immediately went back into her role. Do you know what my favourite part about this story is, though?
What?
That guy tried to do it again when Hepburn left the stage, thinking, well, she's not on stage, she can't catch me. She's probably gone back to her dressing room, to sit there like Queen Bee drinking tea or some shit like that. No, Hepburn didn't. She was stood off to the side watching the play intently and noticed the guy do it again and came out again to criticise him some more. Because fuck you, don't mess with Katharine Hepburn's play. How hard a lesson is that to learn? She was 70 at the time. Don't fuck with Katharine Hepburn.
Karl, can you hear that?
Hear what, Brad?
The comment section, Karl.
Now you mention it, I hear some rumblings down there because I've had the audacity to mention a woman who criticised men. And I can feel it in my bones. The angry, whiny man babies getting all pissed off. Doubly so now I've called them all angry, whiny man babies. And we might as well mention this now since we're talking about the comment section and people getting pissed off. I've had a lot of angry tweets on my Twitter about my tendency to only respond to negative comments and just ignore all the positive ones.
Usually with just the words fuck off.
And that goes back to the earliest days of the channel, doesn't it? Where I would pin the negative comments. If you go back to early videos, you'll notice that I only pin negative comments. And I just find it really funny that these people are like, oh yeah, fuck you. And I just go, no, fuck you too, buddy. And they get really like, oh, that's very unprofessional of you. It's like, what did you do then? It's baffling to me that people get so annoyed about it. I think the recent ones, well, I was on holiday in fact. I was just drunk on the toilet. I was like, oh fuck it, I'm going to respond to some of the comments because I'm just sat in waiting to go out. And I think someone said, oh yeah, Bud Light, which I've drunk in a few videos. Oh, that's not a real man's drink. So I went, fuck off. And everyone's like, yeah, but Bud Light is shit. So I went, you can fuck off too. And then blocked a lot of people on Twitter. And I got a load of criticism. Oh, these people, you had to block people on Twitter. It's like, I can do what I want. It's my Twitter. It's like, why would I actively just allow people to just become this noxious fog that just becomes now my mentions? It's, oh, cool. I now no longer want to use this social media because all I've got is a bunch of people shouting shit at me.
There seems to be this thing where if you're on the internet, you're just that people think you're allowed to say what you want.
Yeah, I'm obligated to take all this shit, but the moment I try and give some of it back, those people immediately jump on the defensive. It's really weird, isn't it? They can insult me as much as they want. They can say all this awful shit, but the moment I say, I'm just going to prune you from my online ecosystem, because I just don't want a person who thinks I'm an asshole always calling me an all manner of names, some of which I'm not going to repeat here. I don't want to see that on the thing I use on the toilet to relax. Because, you know what? When I'm sat there taking a shit, and people are like, oh, nice video today, Karl. Oh, cheers, thanks, mate. I don't want to see you're a fucking faggot SJW, which are comments that I was like, you know what? Nah, let's just not put this in my life right now. And people get annoyed about it.
I think the best analogy that you've ever given me for this whole comment shtick is when you said it's like being in a pub.
Imagine that you are in a pub and that you're saying this to me in real life, which I've used on Twitter a few times, but not on YouTube, so we can talk about it now. I've no problem with criticism, despite what the comment section seems to think. We do respond to a lot of it. It's just that we do it in secret, because there's no point acknowledging the fact when people say the audio's off, we went and fixed that and bought a new microphone. When people notice there are spelling mistakes and stuff, we can correct it early enough, we'll try and correct them and reload the video and all that shit. But when it's just stuff like, oh, that beer you're drinking is shit, I just tell that person, imagine that you bumped into me in a pub. So imagine I'm sat there and I'm having a drink, and you come up to me and say, hey mate, that beer you're drinking's for pussies. And my response is to go, fuck off. That is completely justified. People just because it's in a comment section doesn't mean it's any less justified. Or just say me and Brad are in Wetherspoons or some shit like that, and you walk home, oh, hi guys, love the videos. That last one, though, was bollocks. Do not expect us to, react in, an amicable way, because fuck you. Imagine having a conversation with, Brad, do you know your shoelace is untied, you fucking moron? How do you make a mistake that stupid, you idiot? Get out of my face. And then you go, all right, Karl, I'm off. What are you doing, mate? I just told you about your shoelace.
I was just warning you, man. You could have tripped over on that thing. You should thank me.
Oh, it's great.